Hello, boys and girls, once again. This is Mrs. Ontiveros, and today is Wednesday, and I have a new story for you from Scholastic, of course, and it is titled George's Secret Trip. And what we're going to find, boys and girls, in this passage is inferencing. We're working on inferencing this week. Miss Corner started yesterday. She started Monday, and it's going to continue for the remainder of the week. Let me just tell you something about inferencing very, very quickly, boys and girls. Some of the information that the author provides in this passage is sometimes stated directly, and sometimes it is not stated directly. You must find, boys and girls, in the passage the details that help you make an inference, or better yet, your very best guess about what the author wants you to know. Okay, so please pay very close attention to what I'm about to read to you, because you will be making an inference today. And then you have another one to read, and then you are going to go ahead, write it, take a pic, and then post it for me to grade. Okay, and that'll be towards the end. So here we go, boys and girls. But before I go ahead and go on, it says, there's a caption to the right, and it says, as you read, think about why George's secret trip was so important. One night, George Washington and his soldiers made a secret trip across the icy Delaware River. That trip made history. Here we go. Enjoy, boys and girls. It says at the top, we have, of course, a lot of text features like we did on the previous one. We have subtitles, 4 columns, and 2 keywords, one of them being exhausted and the other one encouraged. It says at the top, the very small caption, as the sun rose, George and his soldiers get ready to attack. A secret crossing. It is more bold-faced and larger, this caption underneath the picture, which is another text feature. Long ago, the country was ruled by England. We fought a war to be free. The war was called the Revolutionary War. George Washington was in charge of the American Army. This is the story of one of his most important battles. A tired army. It was December 1776. The war had been going on for more than 1 year. The American army had lost many battles. The soldiers were totally exhausted from the long war. They didn't think they could win. They wanted to give up. George knew the army needed to win a battle. It would make them feel hopeful again. He had a plan. And boys and girls, I'm going to stop right there, and I am going to ask you something, okay? This is like what the author is getting across, who happens to be right here, Blair Rainsford. Blair Rainsford. She has stated something here that I am going to read. It says, boys and girls, I'm going to turn this just a little bit so that you can see it clearly. And it reads, it was December 1776. The war had been going for more than a year. Boys and girls, does it state directly when the war started? You are correct. No, it does not. Look once again, boys and girls, at the paragraph where it says, It was December 1776. It's just telling you when it was. The war had been going on for more than a year. What clues or hints in that short paragraph is the author letting you know when the war started? What I did here for you, boys and girls, for some of you that may be a little bit confused about the timeline, if the Revolutionary War is here, December 1776, and the clue words are, had been going on for more than a year. Well, from December 1776 to December 1775 is 1 year, correct? But it says for more than a year. So if December 1776, backing up, December 1775 is 1 year and it lasted for more than a year, then when did the war start? If you said December 17 or in 1774, you are correct, because the clue words, the key words are more than a year. From here to here is 1 year. From here to right around here is more than a year. So the war started in 1774. Let us continue. Did you understand that inference? Good. Okay, let's keep on reading. A daring plan. George and his soldiers were camped on one side of a river. The enemy was a few miles away. They were on the other side of the river. George's plan was to cross the river in the middle of the night. They would sneak up on the enemy. No one would see them coming. There was just one problem. The weather was awful. An icy crossing. There was a horrible storm, boys and girls. Snow, rain, hail, and sleet fell from the sky. The wind howled and stung the soldiers' faces. All day the storm kept getting worse. Day turned to night. The storm didn't stop. George couldn't wait any longer. It was time to go. The crossing was hard. It was so dark. The soldiers couldn't see the shore. The river was full of big chunks of ice. Strong waves rocked the boats. Freezing cold water splashed into the boats. It soaked the soldiers' feet. The soldiers made it across. But they still weren't done. They had to march for hours through the snow. George rode his horse up and down the line of marching men. He encouraged them to be brave, to keep their spirits up. A surprise attack. The sun started to rise. George and his soldiers were ready to attack. Would the daring plan work? It did. The enemy was totally surprised. The enemy gave up in 1 hour. George's army had finally won a battle. The soldiers were exhausted and freezing cold, but they were happy. The battle made them happy and hopeful. George's plan worked. Maybe they could win the war after all. President George. The war went on for 7 more years. In the end, George's army won. The United States became a new free country. The new country needed a leader. It should be someone brave. It should be someone who made people feel strong. The people picked the man who kept the army going. George Washington became the very first president of the United States. And of course, this entire passage, like I said, was written by Blair Rainsford. She is the author. And now, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and do another inferencing. This is the one that you're going to copy. This is the one that you will take a pic of. And this is the one that you will post on Dojo for me to grade. So here we go for our activity for this particular passage. The date, boys and girls, I would appreciate it if you put it. It's 4/30. It's 4/30, 2020. The title is Inferencing or Inferences. Boys and girls, let me ask you this question. If it was 1776, when did the war end? It doesn't state it in the passage at all. You need to look for those details in your text to find out when the war ended. Let me show it to you again. This is what you will be copying. You will write 1776. You will either add or subtract to find the answer. And then you will write the war ended in and give me the year, boys and girls, when this war ended. I hope you enjoyed this passage. I did. And I will see you next week to see what else I have to offer and read to you. So you continue having an awesome week. And I will see you on Friday at 1. If you want to go ahead and further discuss this, I will be more than glad to give you more information on inferencing. Thank you so much, boys and girls, and have an awesome and pleasant week. Don't forget to give your parents a hug. Thank you. Bye-bye.